All right, as we stand here with the 4Runner, the hood is up. I'm just letting this thing run. We're gonna do a different video, kind of a little bit. I actually just keep getting questions. It's the same question if I have the links to all the parts. No matter what video it is that I've made, I made a video already basically just going over where I got all the parts on this 4Runner. I'm not going to just go through and like spend 30 minutes or so linking everything down in the description, because then there's just going to be a new comment on a new video like, hey, what's that part? So I figured I would just kind of maybe go over where I got stuff, but kind of give you the price breakdown. So when I bought this thing last year, this was just an entire bone stock Toyota 4Runner. The only issue it had was the driver's side valve cover was leaking a little bit, and then when the shop that repaired it or replaced it, as you can see, it's a lot shinier, newer than the passenger side. I guess it had been done before. One of the bolts broke, so oil was kind of just seeping out a little bit over time. No big deal. These things are kind of known for their valve having bad valve cover gaskets just over a course of time owning it anyways. So went ahead and had that done. That was the only thing basically wrong with this 4Runner. The frame is completely perfect. I wash it every day. I'm actually about to go take it to get washed again just to make sure all the salt stays off the frame and the 4Runner itself. This is just where the film and location I have is, I guess, where VDOT parks their trucks or something. But so let's go ahead and get into that. I'm going to first go over the lift kit on the vehicle. Now, it's kind of hard to price the lift kit with every accessory to it, so I'm going to remember as much as I can. So let's start with the suspension of the vehicle. This is on a Dobinson's 3-inch lift kit, the IMS kit itself. When I bought the kit, it was $2,300. Mind you, they do military discount, or they have some kind of discount going usually all the time on different websites. So this is just what I paid full price from what I remember. I'm sure there's been some type of discount. None of these parts have been sponsored or given to me for free, so I've paid outright for this entire build list for the 4Runner. So the accessories with it, from their website, from the extended brake lines to the spacer to the entire lift kit itself, minus the front control arms, the upper ones, and the OEM lower ball joints, I'd say right around $2,800 or $3,000 to basically have all the accessories from Dobinson's, like I said, that's on their website, that has the drop-down menu of what you can add to it. Lift kit alone, which is say $3,000. The extended CV axle travel, maybe you can kind of see, it's kind of glaring on the phone or the camera. Those were about, I think, near $500. So the reason I went with the long travel ones is because the boot covers have a apparently they rip a lot if you don't use the extended travel ones. You can get those from Napa. That's what I did. Let's see what else. The skid plate, entire RCI skid plate setup, I would say that's probably $1,000 at this point, from the front to the fuel tank. So that's the front, transmission cover, transfer case, and the fuel tank cover and engine cover. So that's 4 pieces, or nope, 5 actually, because I have the A-arm covers as well. So the whole skid plate setup is probably, I'd say, a solid $1,000. That is something that you want to have if you take this, your 4Runner or whatever vehicle. They do a lot of different vehicles, from Chevy, Toyota, Ford, Nissan, I believe, Jeeps. If you take it off-roading or overland and you want to protect the, guts of the vehicle, the transmission, and all that stuff, just in case you do some hardcore overlanding or trails. From the rear of the vehicle, the upper and lower control arms, I'd say those were probably around $500. The track bar itself with the pan hard bar correction kit, which I do recommend. You can maybe see it under there a little bit. Both of those were probably about $350, I would say. Let's see, what else did I replace on this? The exhaust. The exhaust is pretty expensive for this. I went ahead and added the MagnaFlow exhaust. The factory one I had a hole in it, so it was just kind of rusted out a little bit. That happens. That was around $700 or $800. The wheel and tire combo setup, what I always get asked, the size. These are Method race wheels. You can get them on their website. 265/70/17 for the tires, the Toyo Open Country AT3s. I'd say, even with my discount, let's just go full price. I'd say probably like $2,500, and your $3,000 is probably what you're looking at for a good wheel and tire combo setup like this. Method Race always has pretty good deals. I've seen them 30% off on the wheels, just depending on, like, I guess holiday or something. One thing I almost forgot was the front control arms and the lower ball joints. The lower ball joints were about $100 off. I got them off eBay, but I got them from a eBay store in Japan, so I wanted the OE ones. We definitely recommend sticking with the OE lower ball joints. Anything, honestly, like even Mass Airflow or something like that, I'd stick to, I think it's Denso or Toyota OEM if you can get it, unless it's an aftermarket part for like a lift or a light or something like that. So I would definitely do that. The JB upper control arms are about $550, probably near $600. They're the most friendly, the ones that are recommended the most. I know a lot of people kind of spend a couple more $100, like $200 more, and get the total Chaos or something, but I've had the JBAs for 6 months now or so, zero issues. Just make sure they're greased just like any other ball joints or upper control arms. The 4x4 Victory step rails here, these are very expensive. I think I paid $1,100 for these. They're the bolt-in ones, so it probably takes about, I'd say, it's a whole day project. From when Ironwood Automotive did it, they had the vehicle for a good solid day. So those were about right around $1,100. If you come to the basket, a lot of people have asked how much this basket is. This is the Baja Rack short rack. This was about $1,200 as well. I'll probably keep it as is, but they have a lot of accessories you can add to them, like corner lights on all around. And then if you look at the holes right here, you can add a light bar that they actually make. That's about $1,000, but if you do a lot of, overlanding and stuff, it probably pays off or probably is worth it. Definitely a good idea to keep a full-size spare in there as well. The Snowbound Customs light setup for the third brake light, these projector lights or chase lights, this set of chase lights, and the spoiler itself, powder coated. I'd say right around $750 altogether. Definitely worth it, again, if you're doing all that. We'll come to the back of the vehicle. Don't mind the mess in here. So the light setup that I've talked about before a lot, that I definitely recommend. That's actually not a bad, it's pretty inexpensive. It's about $100. I think $120 for the whole kit, including this as well, to where you can run everything for it. So, hey, $100 gives you some nice lights. So we come into, like I said, everyday daily driver. The Snowbound Customs kit right here with the bracket, and this was, I think, $50, so allows me to, charge my headphones, or if I have any passengers in the back, they can charge their phones. Coming up to the front of the vehicle, we have the mirror itself, which was about $200 or so for the Gen X with the arm included. Then we have the Wolf Box, which I'm actually Friday gonna drop it off to go ahead and get the rear camera portion of this finally mounted, so that way I'll be able to access the front and rear, and I'll go over and make an entire video about that as well. And if it's worth it, honestly, so far I think it is, but I think when I get full use of it, I'll definitely be able to tell. You have the aux beam along with this holder right here, so this replaces the sunglass holder. As you can see, my sunglasses are still in there. For the aux beam, it's about $250, probably $200 on Amazon. The holder itself, I believe, was around $50, if I can remember correctly. Now, as we come to the front of the vehicle, these, I think, were about $150 for both of them, so they come as a pair. So those are definitely nice to have. The ditch lights, the air raid intake tube, I think it's a little pricey, honestly. There's your aux beam. Rest of the setup for the vehicle, as you can see as we come across there. But the whole air raid tube was about $180. A little overpriced for a piece of plastic, in my opinion, but my factory one was kind of on its way out, so I went ahead and replaced it with a newer one. It looks cool, looks nicer, I guess, nice and kind of freshened up a little bit, but it is what it is. The Snowbound Customs washer fluid reservoir, that is, I think, like $150 from what I remember. Nice little engine dress up. You don't have to have it, but if you do, there's no cutting or anything. It basically just bolts right into the factory position. The radiator itself, this radiator was $500, obviously on the expensive side, but I definitely recommend replacing yours with the Toyota one. Don't do like a Napa, AutoZone, Advance, or something like that. Go straight to either an aluminum one, like the CSF one I have here, or go with the Denso one. They're just going to last longer and better, but I prefer the aluminum over the plastic one. Now, the radiator upper and lower tank, or hoses for the coolant tank, and then that rear heater. So they sell both kits. That was probably right around $600 for both kits. The oil cap, little engine dress up, it's like $30 or $40. It actually sits very well, tight. There's no issues. I had one for the Mustang years ago, and the fitment was just crap. This little doohickey, little battery cable cleanup setup, I think that was right around $150. Kind of pricey, but it does make it look cleaner. That way it protects everything a little bit, and so all the wiring and everything, there you go. Takes away from the ugliness, and yeah. So, the under the engine hood. So these are two separate light kits, as you can see, the KC lights, and then we just have like, I guess, one branded light. One was $70, the other was like $100. So you're looking at about, with discounts, maybe $150 for that. The hood struts, which I totally recommend. They are the Spiker hood struts. I don't even think you can see there you go, Spiker. Those are right around like $80. You can get them on Amazon. We have the AVS Bug Rock Deflector. I like it on there. I know some people don't. I think that's honestly like $100. And then one of my favorite things about this vehicle, the Toyota aftermarket grille with the Raptor or TRD lights, and then the little like mountain symbol. It all comes together as an entire kit. That is right around $250. I have the RGB one to where I can change the colors anytime I want. I've done it plenty of times, but I kind of like the green as it is now. And probably coming to the last thing of the vehicle, my favorite part is these TEQ Customs retrofitted headlights. They are very, very bright. I get flashed all the time, and they're pointed directly. I made sure that the cutoff and all that, I had them checked multiple times to make sure I wasn't being an asshole. But they're set correctly. So those are about $1,000. If you're going to invest in anything with these, I would definitely invest into that first as one of the things, like a wheel tire combo setup, definitely retrofitted headlights. They have different aftermarket shrouds and looks and halos and RGB, all that wonderful stuff that you can upgrade to, but I just like it clean and simple. So that's where we're at with it, and it's totally worth it. So yeah, a very expensive build here, but that's with any aftermarket stuff. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade to the I know I see people do the Tundra front brakes. They upgrade to those. I still have the, I don't even remember what do you call these, drum brakes in the rear. So these things don't break. They break okay, maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Not so bad, not horrible, but upgrading it like I did on the Mustang to the Cobra brakes, the Tundra brakes will probably be a lot better on these. But brakes are definitely good for now. So maybe in the future, I don't know how much that is, but I don't think I missed anything with this entire build. So if you're looking to build something like this, just like a daily driver, but be able to have that overland function or look good, this is what it is. Almost forgot the taillights. Taillights are $250. They have the sequential. I love them. Their retrofitted look almost reminds me of kind of like the first, maybe second gen look, but kind of like that, modern day technology, I guess, to it. Then we have the backup camera with the Kenwood radio, which is probably about, $400 or $500 as well. So yeah, that's my Sport Edition 02 3rd Gen 4Runner. So if you're new to the channel, check it out. There's a bunch of videos on it, and I'll be making plenty of new videos for this and on the Mustang coming here shortly. So I'll catch y'all later. Yeah, y'all have a good one. And for whatever links that are not on these parts, I would just type in 4Runner on Google. Oh wait, I forgot one more. One of my favorites. So this is the TEQ Customs. Definitely have to clean this thing up. TEQ Customs overlay, face overlay gauge. This is about $150. You can turn it to blue or green. I always have it set on blue because it's a little brighter, but they also have a white face gauge overlay as well. So if you don't like the black face overlay, if you want the white face overlay, they also have that. So check it out on their website. TEQ Customs, 4R Customs, Snowbound Customs, and SRQ Fabrications are the websites that I have bought pretty much everything for this, like probably 90% of the stuff for this vehicle. Yeah, so that's going to do it, guys. I'll catch y'all later. You have a good one.